Alright. This episode brought to you and supported by Nino Kuna, Wrath of the White Witch. This is episode 3 of Just One More Topic. I'm going to get a little bit closer. Episode 1, we kind of introduced things. Episode 2, Eyes Epic Blue from All Your Show came in to talk about the Wii U with us.
We tried anyway.
Yeah, we got 2 minutes in. And
Just off topic.
yeah.
That's okay.
But I am Jeff Aka Tridrakis. And to my left, the owner of All Your Base, where we are at right now.
I'm Taborius. Best trading prices in town. Buy, sell, trade. Yeah, that's all I got this time.
Yeah. So we've decided that this episode we will talk a little bit about the PlayStation 4 predictions and what we think of.
Oh,
PlayStation.
Yeah. What do you think of the PlayStation 4? Ignore the shirt. I am now cold.
Man, yeah, and I'm in a short sleeve shirt.
It's freezing in here. Just can't begin to tell you.
Yeah.
So one of the most interesting things I think that is coming out with the PS4 is the fact that they are going to have a.
You can put the code down.
Okay. Is the fact that they're going to try again to get rid of the Dualshock. They're going to be using an LCD biometric. And basically, it's like the screenshots I've seen of it. It's a controller with like a clear panel in the middle, and something about better immersion with the Vita.
Yeah, and it seems like it's going to kind of meld the PlayStation Move with the DualShock. My biggest concern is that I liked the boomerang style controller that Sony was introducing, but everyone else didn't.
Yeah, you're right. We really didn't. None of us.
I wanted to at least.
It's me, guys.
You know, I wanted to at least hold it, kind of see if I liked it, but it didn't even get a shot to get past prototype form. Which, you know, I guess makes sense. Once the DualShock has been Sony's standard for so long.
Yeah, they tried to get rid of it at the beginning of the PS3 with the 6-axis and like the slight movements. You know, remember what was it? Dragons? No, Lair?
Yeah,
Lair. Oh, fail. Anyway, sorry. No offense. Like new hardware, I get it, but yeah, it didn't really
work. It was a bag of popcorn. It was a piece of crap. It was terrible.
How are you going to relate popcorn and crap? I don't even want to know.
It was just like the weight of it. It didn't feel like anything was there. It was
just like... I've lifted some pretty hefty We're not talking about it. Next thing, RAM.
I've seen predictions, or I've actually seen like potential like spec sheet list leaks that said something about 8 gigs of RAM, which is substantial in comparison to the PlayStation 3, which has 256 megabits. Bytes.
Yeah. Megabits would suck.
I was going to be a little bit more comedic, but yeah, there's actually megabits versus megabytes, and that just went weird. Yeah. So.
Sorry, But yeah, and I mean, if you think about it, how many of your computers only work out that much RAM? It doesn't exist anymore.
No, not since like 2006.
That should help a lot of the bottlenecking problems.
Yeah. AKA Skyrim, which couldn't even get the DLC to work without major overhauls.
Which, by the way, quick aside, all you PlayStation players that have been waiting, all the DLC is getting launched. I think first day launch is February 5th. Day it comes out, all the DLC.
50% off.
Half off.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
50% off.
50.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, I can't. I did see a leaked roadmap of what Sony's predictions were for coming out, which is kind of contradictory to what they've said, but they're actually looking at unveiling it probably at E3 of 2013 this year, and shooting for a Q4 release, which I think is a really bad idea.
Well, and there's 2 things. Sony doesn't even believe what they say, because...
Or what Sony North America says and what Sony Japan says are like really different half the time.
Sony America seems to kind of actually have an idea of, you know, that would be a bad, like the used game things, which we'll dive into, I'm sure, later on. But Sony Japan, it's a very Sega-esque situation where you've got one side that seems to know what they're doing, but then you got the other side that has more power.
Or
like, no,
they're like a secret like society that, you know, they don't tell anybody anything. They just run.
Yeah.
They just run shit. It just goes.
Yeah.
Probably the former. I'm trying really hard.
And like I said, I don't think Sony even knows what they're talking about. Even if they do say, hey, we're going to let Microsoft go first, it could just be kind of a ploy to make Microsoft wait a little bit and then launch PlayStation 4. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, and that's mind-boggling right there. You come out publicly and say, we want to let Microsoft go first,
executive,
so we can make sure that the Sony has better hardware specs.
Yes.
There's got to be some ass backwards mind game that goes with that.
Yeah, there has to be something, because it seems like it would make sense to wait for Microsoft, but at the same time, you might also want to get out there first and try to, iron out some details before the actual competition launches, because who cares about Nintendo?
Not to mention what really scares me about a lot of this stuff, the biometric controllers, the 8 gigs of RAM. It really comes down to price point. I mean, when the PS3 launched, it was $500-600.
Yeah, they were losing almost $200 out of it.
Because we got a special guest that probably won't care much about this particular subject, but everybody, it's Pharaoh Wizard from All Your Show.
Oh, the screaming lady.
We are discussing brief predictions for the PS4.
Yeah.
Brief predictions. And I wore the best shirt in the world for it.
Yeah, he got the wrong memo.
Fantastic.
He got the 4 right.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm really scared at the price point, because they already complained that when they cut back, so I mean, backwards compatibility, gone. Don't even expect it. Like, it's too expensive to do. But they've already complained that they made no money on systems. They had to cut back prices just to get the PS3 competitive with the 360. So I don't know. That whole thing's going to be a mess.
And part of it could be that they might charge for PlayStation Network to try to offset some of the losses in conjunction with the actual hardware costs. Because and that might be something that they look into. I don't want them to charge because I don't like paying subscription fees and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, if it can help keep the actual cost of the system down, they're likely looking at it.
It's not even just that. I mean, paying subscription fees. I mean, look what it did for Xbox Live.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no comparison. And if Sony really wants to get into that world of live play, of really competing, I mean, honestly, before the anonymous thing happened, before they got hit, there were already plans for them to start charging. Yeah, I would say it's almost a guarantee.
And a lot of
PlayStation Plus,
PlayStation Plus came in, and apparently Sony's making a lot of money off of it. I'm not 100% sure how, because that's something where I'm still running off of free stuff that Sony gives away with their games.
I questioned that because, I mean, you would think that with the millions of people paying at least, either $60 a year or $10 a month for Xbox Live, Microsoft still makes no money off the Xbox, period.
Yeah, which is very surprising because they've got a lot of advertisers in there too.
Yeah, but I think, cost of advertising probably out, whatever. We're talking about the PlayStation.
Yeah, but Sony potentially dropping the Dualshock in favor of another controller might not, actually pan out. They might just make a Dualshock.
You'll see a Dualshock 4, I promise.
Yeah.
I also lie a lot.
Well, that's nice to put on.
Make stuff up. There you go.
Yeah. I don't have that shirt. But so those are just some rough ideas. What do you guys think? What have you heard? We try to stay hip to the news, but we got lives and crap, man. What do you want from me?
We don't get paid for this, so it's kind of hard to stay on top of all this stuff.
Like Mr. Sooty McSuit back here.
Yeah, he walks in all nice and dressed. And
what the hell is this god off? I don't know why I'm making you a Texan oil baron, but that's where I'm going with it. Anyway, chime in. Check out our links. Remember, go see Pharaoh at allyourshow.com along with myself, Blue, who was here last week.
Yeah.
Try Dracius.
JustOneMoreLevel.com, Just One More Topic. I've even introduced Just One More Vlog once I get to the house. I can bring that up. Yeah.
I'm noticing a theme with your names.
Yeah. I even pointed out in that article. Too bad if you don't like the brand expansion, because I'm going to keep.
We're going for it.
So, All Your Show, All Your Base, Just One More Level. I'm getting confused with the brand.
That's it. That's time.
Pharaoh Wizard 16. Taborius.
And have a good night. And let's see if I know how to stop this thing.